Good evening, everyone, and a special welcome to all of you again to another special evening, another special learning seminar. This is session number 5, and tonight we'll be talking about a very important topic, Rotary's public image and elevating public image. My name is Leighton Khan, and for those of you who don't know me, I'm the president of the Rotary Club of the Caribbean Plus, newly chartered e-club that was incorporated in St. Lucia. And I am also your incoming district secretary. So please get used to me because I'm going to be in your inbox quite a bit in the coming months. So welcome again, and I hope you've all come with an open mind to learn a lot about public image tonight. Before we get into it, let me go through some Rotary protocols and acknowledge some of the Rotary officials who may be visiting with us tonight. I'm not sure how many past governors are in the room, but if there are any, we certainly would like to welcome you. The District Governor line, including District Governor-elect Soraya Warner, who you'll hear from in a moment, District Governor nominee, and the District Governor nominee designate. Welcome. I also like to welcome district committee chairs and of course our special guest speakers this evening, Maria Mohammed Maharaj and Sean Paddy, and they will be more formally introduced in a minute. Of course, all the president-elects and secretary-elects in the room, this session is for you, and without you, we would not be here. So very special welcome to you. Also the incoming board members and all other Rotarians who have taken the time to join us tonight. I welcome you again, and let's have a wonderful evening. To get started, let me just run through a few of the Zoom protocols so we have everybody on the same page. For language selection, at the bottom of your screen, you will see 3 little dots, or perhaps next to it, you'll see a globe. Just select interpretation and then choose your language. So for the French people, that is what you would do. Select on interpretation and choose your language. For general information, please, we'd like you to display your name, your club, and your incoming role. For example, President-elect Angela James from St. Lucia. We'd also like you to mute your microphones if you're not speaking, so as to minimize any background noise or distractions. And also, we really would love for you to put on your cameras because we would like to see you. We'd like to be able to put faces to the names so that when we see you at conference, we can approach you and call you by name. So please put on your cameras. And also, please be mindful that the session will be recorded. In terms of questions, and I'm sure you'll have a few, please place your questions in the chat. You should be familiar with the procedure by now. The questions should be done in capital letters so that they can be easily recognized from the regular comments. And lengthy discussion questions will be assigned to a parking lot. The moderator will explain exactly what that means because I'm not entirely sure. And of course, we would like you to do an evaluation of the session at the end of the session. I must say the evaluations have not been very encouraging so far in terms of the numbers. We certainly would like everyone here tonight to take a few minutes to complete the evaluation form. Okay? All right. To get things going, allow me now to introduce our district governor-elect, who will bring you greetings and give you an overview of this evening's events. District Governor-elect Soraya has been a member of the Rotary Club of St. Lucia from March 2010. She has served as president during the year 2018 to 19 and has served in other capacities on the club's board and continues as an active member of her club. At the district level, she has served as district secretary and the district Interact chair and has been instrumental in revitalizing the growing District 7030's Interact community. District Governor-elect Soraya is passionate about Interact and is keenly focused on the upskilling of youth in service and leadership, and by extension, shaping of leaders for the future. Soraya is a Paul Harris Fellow, a charter and continuing member of District 7030 Polio Plus Society, and a member of the Paul Harris Society. She believes that the beauty and essence of Rotary is this extraordinary opportunity that it brings through numerous channels to serve, transform, and make a difference in our world. Fellow Rotarians, I present to you DGE Soraya Warner.
Thank you. Thank you so much, District Secretary-elect Lathan, for the introduction. And good evening, everyone, and thank you for your attendance at our PELS public image session, simply titled Elevating Our Public Image. Protocol has already been established for the evening, but I do want to acknowledge and thank all of our past district governors, our assistant governors, and district leaders for attending the session. And of course, to our incoming club presidents, secretaries, and club officers. This is really for you, and I'm happy for your attendance and participation here this evening. Welcome, everyone. Tonight, we have with us our very own District 7030 experts, District Public Image Chair, PAG Maria Mohammed, along with our District Communications Chair, Sean Paddy. You would have already heard me talk about what our public image goals will look like in the upcoming 2025-2026 Rotary year. And would simply like for you to focus or to continue to focus on enhancing our public image and on telling our story effectively so that the full impact, not just the outcome, but the impact of our service is understood. We would like clubs to ensure that they have a public relations strategy that they can focus on and use to drive their activities during the Rotary year. A strong public image, as you know, helps clubs attract new members, secure international funding in need, and build partnerships with other organizations. It also enhances the club's ability to influence and inspire others, fostering that sense of pride and belonging among current members. But to achieve these goals, clubs need to adopt a strategic approach to their public relations and outreach efforts. So this session, together with our PELS Trinidad session on public image, are designed to assist you in this area and provide all the tools and resources that you will require. At this point, and without any further ado, I will hand over to DSC Lathan, who will introduce our first presenter for the evening. Thank you so much for being a part of this, and I look forward to your interaction. Thank you.
Thank you very much, DG Soraya. It's my pleasure now to introduce our first speaker, Maria Mohammed. Maria has been a member of the Rotary Club of St. Augustine since 2012, serving as club president from 2018 to 2019, and went on to serve as assistant governor for the East Cluster in Trinidad from 2020 to 2023. From 2022 to 2024, she held the position of Rotary District 7030 Girls Empowerment Chair. And since July 2024, she has been serving as the District Public Image Chair. Professionally, Maria is a seasoned communication specialist with over 25 years of experience in integrated marketing communications. Her career spans the marketing, advertising, social media, and public relations sectors, where she has led impactful campaigns for local, regional, and international brands. Her areas of expertise include brand development, stakeholder engagement, and execution of multi-channel communication strategies. She has also contributed to national boards and committees in the fields of business and communication, offering strategic insight and thought leadership. Maria holds postgraduate qualifications in new media and mass communication from the University of Leicester, UK, and is currently pursuing a Master's of Philosophy degree at the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine campus. She plans to upgrade to a PhD in 2026. Her research focuses on communication strategies within development contexts, an area that closely aligns with her professional work and passion for service. I present to you, Maria.
Thanks, incoming District Secretary Lathan. Good evening, everyone. Please allow me to adopt the previously established protocols. And thank you for joining us as we explore a key part of our Rotary journey, elevating public image. Rotary's image goes beyond logos and slogans. It is shaped by our actions, our impact, our partnerships, and the stories we share, as mentioned by DG Soraya just now. Today, we will look at how each of us plays a role in strengthening that image as Rotarians and as ambassadors of service and leadership. Let's begin. A strong public image isn't just a point of pride. It's a powerful tool. It builds trust, boosts credibility, and deepens community engagement. We strengthen that image by sharing stories that reflect our values and impact, stories that show Rotary in action and inspire others to connect with our mission. Promoting Rotary doesn't have to be big. It could simply be wearing your Rotary pin, posting about a project, or inviting someone to a service event. Or yes, it could be a full-scale marketing campaign. But every effort matters because each time we help the world see who we are and what we do, we grow our reach and our impact locally, regionally, and globally. As we continue to elevate our public image, it is worth remembering that Rotary's brand isn't just something that we see. It's something that people feel. It is reflected in the trust we build, the stories we tell, and the difference we make. While the logos and visuals are important, our true brand is shaped by the experiences we create and the values we uphold. That is what leaves a lasting impression, and that is what sets Rotary apart. As Rotarians, preserving the strength of our brand begins with living the four-way test, a timeless guide for ethical behavior in everything we think, say, and do. Let us all be intentional in how we present Rotary with consistency, compassion, and commitment. Because our brand lives not just in our symbols, but in our hearts and the minds of those we serve, including our members. Rotary is more than a logo. It is a promise, it is a purpose, it means we are people of action. Rotary, much like in the internationally recognized brands shown here, such as Apple, Samsung, and Amazon, are known for their innovative offerings, customer engagement, brand presence, and community relations. These elements shape our perception of them, and in the same vein, Rotary International is perceived by donors, sponsors, and the public as a service organization based on the value and influence we create in the community, which goes beyond how we view ourselves as Rotarians. It cannot be said enough when thinking about public image. It starts with our brand. Do people recognize Rotary's name, logo, and purpose? While we understand Rotary's value, others may not. Just like global brands build recognition through consistent use of their logos, Rotary must do the same, and by using Rotary's brand and logo consistently, we help the world understand who we are and what we stand for. And just how do others see us? Rotary International regularly conducts research around the world to assess what people know and think about Rotary. Of course, the responses vary, but one thing remains the same. Although some of these descriptions here are accurate, there are a lot of misconceptions about us, as you will also see here. When we ask people if they have heard of an organization called Rotary, on average, more than half recognize our name. But it is clear that recognition varies greatly around the world. from 91% awareness in Taiwan to 27% in Poland and everything in between. When we ask people what they know about Rotary, we find better results in some markets than others. We also find a high level of brand awareness doesn't always correspond to understanding. And why does branding matter? It shares our core messages, values, and visual identity. It also sets expectations for what Rotary represents, and it helps people understand who we are, what we do, and why it matters. Branding shapes public image by influencing what people hear, see, and experience about us. It is how we communicate our voice, showcase our visuals, deliver impactful experiences, and build a strong foundation. One of the goals as a district, as clubs and Rotarians, is to grow global awareness and understanding of Rotary. How do we do that? By showing others the impact we make and presenting Rotary in a clear, compelling, and consistent way. No one knows Rotary better than our members. That's why our public image depends on all 1.4 million of us sharing stories with the world. Rotary International's action plan outlines strategic priorities to enhance the organization's impact and reach, and this would have been mentioned in a previous PAL segment in February. A key component involves strengthening Rotary's public image to better communicate its mission and attract engagement. And this includes sharing compelling stories, consistent visual identity, as mentioned before, and utilizing customizable templates, which can be found in the brand center, and coordinated committee efforts. You can do this by encouraging collaboration amongst membership, foundation, and public image committees to enhance overall effectiveness. By focusing on these areas, Rotary aims to elevate its public image, thereby increasing awareness and fostering growth. As part of the action plan, expanding our reach focuses on how we share our values and the impact that Rotary makes with new and diverse audiences. Create new ways to bring people together to experience the power of Rotary and show that we are an organization that is inclusive, engaging, compassionate, and ambitious. When we talk about reach, we mean a strategic focus on creating and improving ways for anyone who interacts with our programs, events, clubs, and offerings to have opportunities to grow personally and professionally, to collaborate with diverse people, and take part in volunteering and service experiences, even without necessarily joining a club. To expand Rotary's reach and elevate our image, as mentioned before, share impactful stories using People of Action materials and the brand center, partner with local groups through projects and events, offer opportunities that meet real community needs, and be open to new formats and flexible approaches. You can also use membership tools to grow a more diverse and inclusive club. When we show who we are and what we do, we build understanding and open doors to greater support, engagement, and membership. Your club can benefit in many ways from a stronger public image of Rotary. Raising awareness and understanding of Rotary, as DGE Soraya mentioned earlier, helps attract prospective members, instill a sense of pride amongst your own members, and encourages community members to donate their time and money, and it also helps your club stand out from other volunteer opportunities and organizations. Rotary clubs can promote their work and strengthen public image through a variety of channels, and you will see some here, including websites, social media, events, speaking engagements, partnerships, public relations. Allow me to further expand the social media and public relations component. Social media is a powerful way for Rotary clubs to boost their visibility and connect with communities. Keep your pages and profiles updated regularly with stories, photos, and project highlights that show your club's impact. Use the Rotary Brand Center not only for proper logos, but also for suggested photography content and writing guidelines to ensure professional, consistent messaging. Engage with your audience. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I'm on antihistamine, so engage with your audience by tagging partners and responding to comments. A strong social media presence help attract and grow membership, showing Rotary in action every day. And how can your club promote your projects? Also, they can add a PR component, mentioned also by DG Soraya earlier, to your project plan, which is essential to boost visibility and gain support for your initiatives. Here are the key steps to consider. Know your local media, engage reporters, write effective, relevant, and engaging media releases, and promote and follow up. Share any media coverage that you would have received on your club's website and social platforms, and track for further mentions to measure effectiveness. It is important to remember that media engagement varies by country, and in a district with 17 countries, approaches will differ. For example, in Trinidad and Tobago, where there are 23 Rotary clubs, clubs often compete for limited media space. In smaller territories with just 1 or 2 clubs, it may be easier to secure media attention. Regardless of the context, success often comes down to strategic planning. Align your media outreach with well-organized projects and fundraisers to maximize coverage and community impact. And these are just some of the media that clubs garnered during this Rotary year. And during the 2024 to 2025 Rotary year, the District Public Image Committee launched a campaign called Rotary District Spotlight, where we featured the news stories that appeared for Rotary and Rotaract clubs on all district social media. This campaign and other campaigns to be launched will continue in the new Rotary year. And these are just some more of the articles that appeared in media throughout our district, and I'm so sorry that I couldn't feature all today. And there's also one here that appeared in Rotary International. And these screenshots show both print and electronic media. And I want to say a special thank you to all the clubs who share their media stories with the PI committee. And we go into strong, consistent branding and public image. A strong, consistent Rotary brand helps the public instantly recognize who we are and what we stand for. Using Rotary logos properly across platforms reinforce our values, which are fellowship, integrity, diversity, service, and leadership. And it also builds trust. By promoting these values and sharing our work positively and professionally, we strengthen Rotary's identity locally and globally. Consistent branding ensures our messages align with Rotary brand identity, values, and overall strategy. A key part of brand consistency is using the same correct logos across all promotional material. In these examples, it shows images of outdated logos. As mentioned previously, every member plays a role in strengthening the Rotary brand. You and your club help build Rotary's brand recognition by using the logos correctly and consistently. And these are some examples of do's and don'ts for clubs in terms of using logos. Additional examples, and all of these and more, can be seen in the brand center. There are also exceptions for including district or location in a club's logo. And within District 7030, there are specific cases where it's appropriate to reference a city, country, or district in club's logos, whether using the regular or simplified mark of excellence. For example, there are 3 clubs worldwide named St. Augustine, and to avoid confusion, as the club was getting correspondence for other clubs in the US and so forth, this club located in Trinidad and Tobago included the district number in its logo to clearly distinguish itself. Another example is the Rotary Club of Garden City, which includes Georgetown, Guyana in its logo to differentiate from another club named Garden City in Singapore. Unfortunately, although Rotary International introduced their rebrand in 2013, and it was in July 2013, some clubs in our district are still using outdated or incorrect logos, and it's just a few clubs. As leaders, I encourage you to review your club's branding and ensure it aligns with the official guidelines. From time to time, the district public image team receives links or images from past district governors, other district chairs, public image chairs, and fellow Rotarians, pointing out when another club is using the wrong logo. This demonstrates the consciousness of Rotarians towards the brand and reflects a shared commitment to presenting a unified and professional image of Rotary. If there's one takeaway from today, it is this: we must use the correct logo, not a new logo, but the official one introduced a year ago. To put it in perspective, if the logo were a child in 2013, she would be 12 years old today. People of Action is a campaign and the messaging we use with external audiences to enhance Rotary public image. It shows members taking action to make an impact in their communities. It also provides a consistent, current way to describe Rotary to those who don't know us, and importantly, it shows people that others like them making a difference and lets them imagine themselves as a part of Rotary. And everything I've mentioned here is in the brand center. And as we go along in the new Rotary year, there will be other webinars to describe these. But I know most of you would be aware of it already. And to get started with strengthening Rotary's brand, begin by understanding it. Take our logo representing Rotary course in the Learning Center. Then, use the Brand Center to create and download your club logo in the needed formats. Encourage your club's leadership and public image team to review and update all branding materials like banners, email headers, and apparel. Remember, we all represent the Rotary brand in the community. So wear the correct branding on shirts, hats, and vests. It is not about recognition. It is about helping people understand who we are and what we do. Brand stewardship isn't just about responsibility of the public image chair. It's a shared commitment with all leaders and members. We all play a role in ensuring brand consistency across everything we do. Let us use the Brand Center thoughtfully and use it often, so together we can tell Rotary's story with clarity, consistency, and pride. Additionally, as a club leader, you can strengthen Rotary's brand by being a People of Action ambassador. As mentioned, use the Brand Center, show your club in action through event photos and community engagement, and of course, appoint a public image chair to lead branding efforts and share Rotary's story. And if possible, and hopefully it's possible, appoint your public image chair by July. As Rotary Zones 33-34, and you will hear more about this from APIC, Sean, usually starts their monthly webinars early in the new Rotary year. Note these webinars are open to all members. Also attend PI workshops, use Rotary International content, and choose the right communications channels to reach and inspire the public. There are public image courses in the Learning Center, which can be accessed through Rotary.org. And the Learning Center offers key PI courses like our logo representing Rotary, and promoting your club as people of action, and many other courses on public image. And beyond public image, it also offers self-paced courses on leadership, membership, service, and Rotary Foundation. And these empower members to strengthen their clubs and community impact. Additionally, and this is one thing that I added in here today, because we have seen clubs in the district produce their own branded items that do not comply with Rotary brand guidelines. And as mentioned, consistency of the Rotary brand makes not only our district stronger, but Rotary International. There may be times when clubs may wish to produce branded items, for example, medals, and our club had to go through this too, so that's why we're familiar with this, that are not available to licensed suppliers. In such cases, once a design has been finalized, it is recommended that clubs apply for a one-time trademark use authorization from Rotary International. The application is free of charge and allows individuals or manufacturers to request single-use permission to use Rotary branding on merchandise not offered by licensed vendors. And we will include a link to this application, or feel free to reach out to me anytime in the near future if needed. And one of the publications of the district is a district newsletter. And on behalf of District Governor-elect Soraya, we are excited to announce vacancies on the 2025 to 2026 Rotary District 7030 online newsletter team. We are seeking passionate, creative Rotarians for 4 key volunteer roles. They are editor, assistant editor, coordinator, and designers. One designer, that is. And these roles are vital to producing a high-quality, professional monthly newsletter that reflects our district goals and aligns with Rotary International brand guidelines. So, if you have a knack for writing, editing, organizing, or design, this is your moment to make a meaningful impact. Look out for the official promo this month, and let us tell the Rotary District 7030 story together. As mentioned previously, I would like to ask all clubs to remember to list their public image chairs in My Rotary. Currently, only 31%, that is 24 out of 77 Rotary clubs within our district, have their public image chairs listed for the next Rotary year. In some cases, the PI chair may have been appointed, but not listed. And if you are having any issues, please feel to reach out and we would readily assist you where possible. Before I close, I would like to thank you all so much for your time, energy, and continued dedication to strengthening Rotary's public image. It has been a pleasure sharing this space with you today, and I'm especially looking forward to seeing many of you in just over 3 weeks at the in-person PALS and conference to be held in Trinidad, where we will dive even deeper into these conversations, exchange ideas, and grow together as public image champions. Before we wrap up, feel free to scan the district QR code to access all our social media channels and stay connected. And it's now my pleasure to hand you over to incoming District Secretary Lathan to introduce our APIC, Sean. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you so much, PI Chair Maria Mohammed Maharaj, for that very detailed and comprehensive presentation on public image. There's so much to unpack there, but every word, every slide was very important, because it's important that we know how to use the branding, how to use the logo. There's still a lot to be learned in that respect, and so I'm hoping everybody was paying close attention as to how we will use the logo and the branding of Rotary going forward. I have the pleasure now to introduce our next speaker. It's a name you might know, but a man you might not have seen, Sean Paddy. I could probably just say Sean Paddy, a legend in District 7030, because he has such a rap sheet here. I was trying to see how I could condense this bio, so bear with me. Sean is a very accomplished Rotarian. Sean is the Assistant Rotary Public Image Coordinator for Zone 34. He became a Rotarian in 2010 and has held many, many positions. Since 2013, Sean has served in roles within District 7030, including Communications Officer, Public Image Chair, and Polio Plus Chair. He founded the first ever Rotary Action Group in District 7030, focusing on mental health initiatives in Trinidad and Tobago. He has also served on regional committees, including Rotary Works and Feed 10 Million programs. He was appointed Assistant Regional Public Image Coordinator for Zone 34 for 2021 to 2025 and has served as the Social Media Coordinator since 2023. Sean has also been the team leader on the Zones 33-34 Communication Action Plan since 2024. Sean has served as a Deputy Global Ambassador for Rotary International President's Initiative on Girls Empowerment from 2021 to 2024. He's part of a team establishing a new Global Rotary Action Group for Girls Empowerment. He established the Rethink program in District 7030 to combat cyberbullying, my apologies. Sean is a sustaining member, multiple Paul Harris Fellow, and member of the Paul Harris Society. He is a committed supporter of our Rotary Foundation, particularly the End Polio Now program. In 2022, he established District 7030's Polio Plus Society and will soon serve as Rotary International's 2025 to 2028 End Polio Now Coordinator for Region 41. Finally, Sean is professionally a consultant with a diversified background, having worked across the United States, the UK, Europe, and the Caribbean. He identifies as a problem solver and creator of opportunities for many, many organizations. Fellow Rotarians, I present you, Sean.
Thanks so much, Lathan. Appreciate it. Hey, folks. Glad to be here with you guys. And unfortunately, with that many hats on, I'm going to try and limit what I have to say today to just one hat, which is under the umbrella of serving as an Assistant Rotary Public Image Coordinator. So, just to follow up on, augment, and add to everything that Maria just said, which was very comprehensive and checked so many boxes for us and so many good boxes. But just before I get into the actual presentation itself, there are a couple of things I just wanted to highlight. The first is the fact that, as Rotarians, we get bombarded by a lot of information, a lot of resources, a lot of speech, and sometimes we don't know how to filter out what's a priority, what's important. So I'm going to try and do it for you. When it comes to Rotary, there are three key pillars, right? And I know we have all these different numbers, 7 areas of focus, the 4-way test, 5 avenues of service, but there are 3 key pillars in Rotary, right? There's the membership pillar, the foundation pillar, and the public image pillar. And, somebody usually asks, how all 3 kind of work together. And it's pretty simple. We need members to, get our activities done, get our projects done, create fellowship, create service opportunities, create bigger and better projects, both locally and around the world. Our foundation serves as a means to get these projects done, whether at a local level, a regional level, or an international level. So supporting the foundation and all the different aspects that it helps is always going to be a key pillar in Rotary. And then last but not least, what we're here to kind of focus on today, as far as public image is concerned, is we need to get our stories out. This, will inevitably help us to keep members happy, keep current members happy, recognize current members and their actions and their accomplishments. It helps pull in new members because they know the kind of work we do. It, as Maria mentioned, it helps separate us and draw a line of distinction between Rotary and other service or community-based organizations. And And, you know, it helps bring in funds, and it helps do all of these really great things when we help get our stories out there, when we help recognize those folks that have done really good work for us. So public image just really, you know, is a key component. Without it, we revert back to this kind of secret organization that people used to think Rotary was, right? That it's, you know, just for a bunch of let's just say older folks to sit down in a room and, you know, smoke cigars and have cognac, right? It's not that anymore. It's such a diverse organization with so many different types of people from so many backgrounds, but all connected to bringing one kind of vision to life, which is just helping people. So, you know, unless we consistently and with a degree of vigilance keep getting that word out there, you know, people may forget, or people may not realize what exactly it is that Rotary stands for and what exactly it is that Rotary does. So public image is always going to be a key component to it. And a lot of the things, whether it's the tools that are provided, the resources, learning materials that are out there, it's all about how best to help members and clubs get the word out, get good stories out there, make sure that our brand is consistent so that no one confuses Rotary with some other organization, or no one goes, well, how come the brand looks this way for this club and another way for another club? We're all under one big Rotary umbrella, so we should all have the same look. So with that being said, as Maria would have mentioned already, there are several guidelines, resources, tools, reference materials, learning opportunities out there that are available at several levels. Particularly, and starting from the top, you know, you have at the Rotary International level through the Rotary Learning Center and the Rotary Brand Center, a ton of resources that clubs, members, even the district can, you know, benefit from. They can use them as references. They can use them to help remove ambiguity in terms of what's the right thing to do. They can share those resources as learning materials with other members of the club. And another key component here I would like to kind of emphasize to everyone is the fact that every member within a club is responsible for public image, not just the public image chair. You know, we all have opportunities to talk to others, talk to people at work, at home, when we're hanging out, about the good work that Rotary does. And in that sense, we're all part of the public image machine of Rotary. So knowing what to say, how to say it, what to share, how to share it is always going to be something that will benefit every member, not just a handful of persons within a club. So like I mentioned, there is all those resources available through Rotary International, the Brand Center, the Learning Center. But today I'm going to focus on some additional resources that are available from Rotary Zones 3334, which, if you're not sure what that is, it's pretty much kind of the regional collection of 31 districts, including our own. So again, it's just another administrative arm of Rotary that is a collection of districts within a particular geographical area. So Rotary Zones 3334 provides additional help, again, for each of the three pillars, for membership, for foundation, and for public image. So for today, we're going to look at the resources provided by the zones for public image. And I'm going to start that off by sharing, if nothing else, the one thing you guys can take away today from my segment, which is the website that is dedicated towards public image resources for all members, all clubs, all districts within Zones 3334, which includes District 7 to 30. I'm putting that link in the chat box so you guys can get to it whenever you'd like. But essentially, I'm just going to go through a few of the highlights of what's available on this website so that you guys can, you know, be aware of it as incoming leaders for your respective clubs, whether you're the incoming club president, incoming club secretary. If you don't have an appointed club public image chairs yet, you know, please make sure and share it with them. Share this recording, share the links from the recording as well, so that at least, you know, your club public image chair, your club secretary, your club president, they all are aware of that these resources are there and can point persons to them if and whenever they're needed. So one of the first things that's available on the website, which by the way is more or less available in 3 languages, English, French, and Dutch. But for now, I'm just going to be showing the English version. The first resource I'll point out here is if you're an incoming public image chair, there's a link on the homepage that kind of just helps you kind of kick things off and get started. And when you go to that link, what you're going to see here are kind of just 6 little things that we would like new club public image chairs, or I should say incoming club public image chairs, to pay attention to and to maybe just check off their list. So the first is that we would like you to register for our email list. That way, anything public image, as far as new resources, announcements, notifications that come out, whether directly from Rotary International or with respect to zones 33, 34, you can stay informed with it by being on our email list. The second is a link here, as Maria mentioned before, to the brand center, and emphasizing how important it is to make sure that you're using the correct branding as far as the Rotary logo. The third here is a link to the different public image courses that are available through the Learning Center, which again, we encourage any and every member to take, because again, we're all responsible for public image in Rotary. Again, this is just another link here to the different aspects of using the proper brand and the different guidelines associated with proper branding in the brand center. We have a link here to our own zones 33, 34 public image toolbox, which is a cacophony of several different resources and guidelines, and I'll speak a little bit more about it in a few. And then last but not least, there's a link here to check what your public image citation status is. And I'll speak a little bit more about what that is in a few as well. On this page, you can also see the links to the various social media channels on both for both Rotary International and Zones 33, 34. And if you haven't done so as yet, we definitely encourage you to, subscribe and follow to at least one for both arms, right? For both Rotary International and for the Zones 33, 34. So I'm going to jump back to the homepage, right? I'm just showing you what's available through the homepage right away. The second thing here, you'll always see what our next upcoming virtual event is going to be. And in this case, it's going to be our annual public image boot camp, which more or less is geared towards club leaders, particularly your club public image chair or your club president and secretary. But again, it's something that's open to any and every member, right? And during the boot camp, we more or less go through some key things as far as what your club should be looking at public image wise. And what we also do is just emphasize again and try to prioritize what's key and what's important for your club to remember or to try and sustain and achieve during the course of the Rotary year. So if you haven't done so already, or if someone from your club hasn't done so already, please register for the upcoming Public Image Bootcamp, which takes place on April 22nd. If in the same vein of these online events, another link available through the Zones 33, 34 Elevate Rotary website is we archive all of our webinars in one place just to be convenient. So you can always go to our webinar archive page and you can find all the different webinars that we've held over the last almost 4 years now. They're all here. They're all available for you to watch. In addition to that, we do archive all the slide decks and you can download them and have them for, reference, or even if you'd like, you can share them and show them at your own club meetings if the mood should strike you. I'm going to speak a little bit now about our what we call our EPIC award, which EPIC stands for Excellence in Public Image Coordination. And our EPIC award is something that used to be called the Public Image Citation, but about a year or two ago, we renamed it and rebranded it so that it's now known as the EPIC award. And essentially what this is that it is a series of about 10 tasks that are geared towards public image, that your club public image chair, your club president, your club secretary, or whomever in your club you would like can complete each month. And each one is kind of geared towards a specific area of public image or a specific aspect of public image that is, again, key and kind of a priority in Rotary. So as an example, I'll just go through the first three tasks that we do every year that clubs are asked to complete. The first one is what we call a public image audit. That's the July task. And for that task, clubs are asked to kind of go through all their different online and digital assets, make sure that they have, they are aware of everything that's out there. Sometimes, and I'm sure some of you may have come across this over the years, clubs have assets out there that they don't even know about. They are surprised to learn sometimes every year that there may be 2 or 3 other Facebook pages with their club name on it. We call those kind of zombie accounts, right? Somebody set it up 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago, and they left the club or they forgot to hand over the credentials. And as a result, somebody started up a new page, and you end up with, again, just these multiple instances of online assets with your club's name on it. So the audit is really to make sure that you're aware of it and to make sure that you try your best to clean things up. The second task for the year, which is in August, is creating a public image plan. We ask all clubs to more or less try and put together, as comprehensive a plan for the year as possible. The online form that you fill out to complete the task kind of helps guide you in terms of what a plan is or could be. In addition to that, by having a public image plan, and whether you had one before or this is the first year you're doing it, it at least provides a reference to your public image chair or your public image team or your club as a whole for the entire year, as well as it's something that you can kind of hand over the following year to whomever may be coming in to that position. So it provides for a little bit of continuity and sustainability within the club. And then last but not least, the third task for the year that I'll highlight is the September task, which is creating a content calendar for your club. And essentially, this is just a matter of having a plan again in terms of what you want your club to highlight and to push out to the general public during the course of the year. It doesn't mean that it's set in stone by any means. You can tweak and alter it at any point, but at least there's a plan. There are always going to be things in your club that you know about in advance, and they're going to happen during the course of the year. So why not kind of schedule and plan what you're going to do for it public image wise as early as possible? So that's where the content calendar comes into play. And as I mentioned, there's an entire list of all the other monthly tasks going straight through to April. And the April task is actually something I will emphasize as well today. The focus of the April task, and it's something that is relevant to the incoming officers in a club, is that we like every club within the zones, that includes all 77 clubs in District 7030, to let us know who your incoming public image chair is. Let us know who your incoming president is. Let us know who your incoming secretary is. That way, again, we can make sure that everybody's kept in the loop. Everybody, receives all the important communications with regards to the zones 33, 34 public image team. And again, it's just a good practice that we like to maintain so that we don't leave anyone out. During the course of the year, as you complete tasks for the EPIC Award, you can always check out the EPIC status page, which more or less lists off every single club in zones 33, 34, of which there are about 2,200 Rotary and Rotaract clubs in our zones. And it tells you more or less which tasks you've completed for the year, which ones you may have missed out on. It also gives you the award status, a current up-to-date award status and let you know what recognition level you've accomplished. There's a lot more detail and information on the website, so you can check it out for yourself. What I'll also point out here is our calendar. So what we try and do is to maintain a calendar that is as comprehensive as possible for everything Rotary. So it contains important dates, both from a Rotary International global level to a Zones 33, 34 level. It highlights all the different Zones 33, 34 events, not just the ones for public image. So also the ones for membership, for foundation, for other programs that may be happening. So if you want to make sure and keep in the loop, you can very easily just subscribe to the calendar here. And what that does is it actually integrates the calendar as what's the word I want to use? It integrates it as a kind of live event into your particular personal information manager. So whether you use Outlook, whether you use Google, whether you use Yahoo or whatever, it'll integrate it into your calendar. So you'll always be able to see on your particular device what's the next upcoming event. We also have a blog, Public Image Matters blog on the website, and the blog contains a variety of different little articles and blurbs on different topics related to public image. So again, these are things that you can always tap into if there are always these new, let's just say, opportunities and issues that come up within Rotary. Whether from a branding perspective, resource perspective, social media perspective. And sometimes, you may not be the only one that's experiencing it. So more often than not, you could probably find an article on it that explains, not just what the situation is, but maybe also provide some ideas for you on what to do. So you can always check out the blog page here. I mentioned this before, so I'll come back to it now. We have a public image toolbox on the website, and this provides a huge amount of additional reference materials, videos, resources, downloadable guidelines on a variety of topics. Everything from how to create a content calendar to how to elevate your brand and public image in Rotary, to tools that you can use, whether for graphic design, for video, for artificial intelligence. There's a lot of stuff here, and I could probably spend an entire webinar just going through all the different tools, but I just want to highlight it for you guys here right now so that you know that it's there and can be accessed as a resource. A few other resources that are available through the website that I'll highlight is we have a design template app, and what this is really after about 4 or 5 years of people asking us, we developed more or less an online, easy to use application that clubs and districts can use that provides standardized design templates, particularly for a lot of the monthly themes that we have in Rotary, for special days that we have in Rotary, for just overall general Rotary promotional material. And the way the app works is essentially it's a fixed design. You just upload your particular club logo to it or district logo to it. That's generated from the brand center, and you're done. That's it. It'll export it, and you have a fully, customized design that you can use on your website and social media or wherever else you choose. So that's the design template. We also have a few competitions that take place during the year. The first is the social media cover art competition. That's something where we invite members from across the zones. So again, including all Rotarians and Rotaractors from District 7030 to participate and submit their designs that would be used on the Zones 33, 34 social media channels. And I'm actually really proud to say that for this year, we had all 3 of our winners came from the Caribbean. Yeah. Even one from District 7030, which is fantastic. It just shows that our Caribbean districts, and in particular District 7030, we are always participating in stuff that the zones put out and that RI puts out. So we want to make sure and keep that trend going. So Again, just something that you can make your club public image chair and club public image committee and all your members aware of is this social media cover art competition. And then secondly, we also have a People of Action image and video competition, which again is meant to provide clubs with an opportunity to showcase what they do activity-wise as people of action. And this is something that you can submit to the zones, and we pretty much share across the entire region through social media with all the different districts and members, going up and down the entire geographic scope of the two zones. Okay, so I know that's a lot. Again, everything's available via elevaterotary.org. And I'll close off by just kind of reinforcing some things that was said earlier on by Maria. The whole idea, again, with public image is that we want to encourage every member to be storytellers. Everyone has an anecdote. Everyone has a little bit of a background on how they became a member, since they became a member, what's happening now as a member that, can really help promote the idea of the good of Rotary and the good that Rotary does. So we want to make sure as leaders to always foster and create story opportunities for our members. Talking about impact, again, is something that is always going to resonate with folks. There's so many service-based organizations around the world that do really good work, but sometimes we don't know exactly what they're doing, right? We know their brand, we know their name, but it's important to also know and highlight what they do. And a good example in Rotary of highlighting the impact that we have around the world is with polio. But there's so much more that we do, right? We do stuff with water and sanitation. We do stuff with maternal health and childcare. Every single one of the 7 areas of focus, you can find a story, and probably find a story within your club over the last few years on a project that you've done. And that, again, will help resonate really well with members of your community. Some clubs have a very short history. Some clubs have a very long history. But to me, it's not about quantity, it's about quality, right? A club that's been around for just 5 years could have done some extremely impressive work. So make sure that you maintain your club's history, not just amongst your members, but amongst your community as well. That, again, just keeps things relative, and make sure that your brand not just is relevant for now, but is going to be relevant down the road. And then last but not least, it's about finding those opportunities to create bigger and better projects, but not just doing bigger and better projects, but letting folks know that you've done these bigger and better projects. So whether it's taking the opportunity to have it published in your local media, or, having a TV or radio station come and do a story on it, or even sometimes just putting it up online through Rotary's Service Project Center, so that other Rotarians around the world can see the good work that your club is doing. Use every opportunity you have, in other words. So with that, I'm going to kind of close things off. I know we wanted to try and keep things as tight as possible. Please, take a screenshot for contact information for myself or Maria. We're always happy to help, and any questions you may have, whether today or at another point in time, we're always happy to provide more information and clarification. So thanks again.
All right. Thank you so much, Sean. Another very insightful and comprehensive presentation. And I like the part when you remind us that every one of us as members, we have a PI role to play, where every one of us is a PRO in our respective clubs. So thank you for that. I'm sure the people in the group will have some questions for you. I haven't been monitoring the chat, but I would expect there'll be some questions there for you. I'm going to hand you back over to Tanya, who will now handle the question and answer segment of this program. So Tanya, can you take it from here?
Sure. Thanks very much, Leighton. Good evening, everyone. Thanks again for being with us. And to Sean and Maria, we really appreciate the time that you've spent today and the commitment that you have for our district and growing all of our Rotary clubs. We have two questions that we sort of expected to come up. I know you have answered some of this already, but if you can, in summary, either one of you identify, again, how do we ensure that our club is using the correct Rotary branding?
I'll let Maria go first and then I'll jump in.
Thank you.
Well, as you said, it was a lot of these two questions, they were answered already. I mean, Sean, through the demonstration of Elevate Rotary, that's a very good resource to do that. And what Sean didn't mention, which is great on the Elevate Rotary site, there's a design review where you could actually upload your designs, and the zone reviews it and they will give you feedback on, you know, what is correct, what could be done, and so forth. So there are a lot of other things, as we both mentioned, through the brand center, through Elevate Rotary, through a lot of the tools going to the learning center that you could know, and even looking at some of the clubs, what they're doing correctly. So yeah, there are a lot of different ways to do it, and even reaching out to either Sean or myself if you have any questions. What we do is that we would form a WhatsApp group with all the PI chairs in the district. That's why I had said if we could have if all clubs could have listed these in Rotary Club Central, so we would know, so that they could have been in this group, so they could also ask members of that group. I hope I answered it correctly or sufficiently. Thank you.
Sean, did you want to add anything else to that response?
Yeah, sure. I'll just you know, Maria covered it already, but again, I'll just mention the tool that's available again through elevaterotary.org. Again, this is specific to our zones and specifically offered to all 31 of our districts, which includes District 7030. If you're ever unsure about whether or not the correct brand is being applied, or how it's being applied to any design that you're doing, whether it's for a flyer, a ticket, whether it's for a sign, whether it's for, I think Maria mentioned medals earlier, anything along those lines that you have, you know, any ambiguity or uncertainty about, you can use the tool, submit the design to us. We'll have a look at it, determine if it actually does meet all the guidelines that RI have put out, or whether or not you need to tweak a few things. And in a worst case scenario, if it's something that, you know, we're unsure about, we can help elevate it to you to the persons at RI themselves, who can provide a little more decisive clarification on it.
Thank you, Sean. For the people who are attending, if you do have a question, please feel free to put it in the chat, or you can raise your hand, not like me, but actually raising your hand virtually. I did get one question come in to me by WhatsApp from Barbados. Are there any guidelines for highlighting joint Rotary projects to ensure all participating clubs receive fair and balanced coverage? If there are no guidelines, can you please suggest some strategies?
Maria, you want me to take that, or you want to take it?
You go ahead. I will get the link to put in the
Sure,
group one
no
time.
problem.
Yeah.
So the answer to the question, actually, unfortunately, is yes, there are guidelines, and they're provided in the Rotary Brand Center. While Maria finds the link and before she shares the screen, what I'll say to that is there are very clear kind of guidelines or preferences by RI in terms of how to properly brand and represent multi-club activities, projects, undertakings, initiatives. A lot of the times, or in the past, what has happened is clubs have used that kind of lockup format to include multiple club logos, and that's actually incorrect. The proper or preferred way of doing things that RI has kind of indicated to everyone is just use multiple club logos. You know, whether at the top or at the bottom or wherever it may be, but keep them separate. They should always be kept separate. They should not be used as lockups. If there's a situation where the actual activity or event or undertaking has a very unique name, and is like, let's say, being hosted or sponsored by multiple clubs, again, there are guidelines on how to handle that. And again, in most, if not all cases, they want you to keep your logos separate, not to necessarily lock them up and join them. So in that sense, I'll let Maria kind of jump in if she has anything to add to that.
There's also, as you mentioned, with multiple clubs, Tanya, a geographic indicator. So you would have remembered we had a project where all the clusters in Trinidad and Tobago were represented. So instead of listing all 18 clubs, what we did, because all of the areas were represented, we called it Rotary Trinidad and Tobago. So let's just say you have 3 clubs in Grenada. Instead of listing those 3 clubs, you can either list those 3 clubs or you could say Rotary Grenada. So that's another way of representing it as well. And I had put the link in terms of using lockups, but I've seen persons use the lockup, but they still use it incorrectly. And it could be that it's all these things are open to interpretation. And in situations like that, to represent the brand properly, use the design review and send it to the zone, and they're very, very helpful in that way.
And just to clarify a little further, when we refer to clubs, we mean Rotary clubs, Rotaract, Interact, and Early Act, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
No?
sorry, I'm going to be difficult.
Go ahead. Sure.
So, something I would just take the opportunity to mention here is that Early Act is not technically an official Rotary program. So, while there's a standard Early Act logo design, yeah, you need to be a little bit careful in terms of how that's used, because again, it's not an official Rotary program yet. It's on its way to becoming one, but it's not one as yet. Not like how Interact is. The other thing I'll mention really quickly, just to add to what Maria said about geographic identifiers. You want to try and make sure that you have the buy-in and support of all the clubs that are represented under that geographic identifier. So in other words, if you have 3 clubs in your country and you want to use the geographic identifier to represent all of those clubs, yeah, you need to have the okay and the permission and the buy-in from all 3 clubs before you say Rotary Grenada, just as an example, right? Otherwise you are technically representing all 3 clubs when all 3 clubs aren't really part of it. So while there's a solution, there's a proper way of executing that solution that everyone should be aware of. But the geographic identifier is a way to do it in a very clean, simple fashion that you can just go to the brand center and using one of their templates, just create and download a geographic identifier that's appropriate for your particular activity, event, or participants. Let's put it that way.
Thank you. I
And
see
just one
there's
thing about
one.
what
Sorry.
Sean said about Early Act. I know people go online and they search for the logo and they have the blue logo with the gold outline. Through APIC, Sean, the Early Act logos were changed. And if any club has an Early Act club and they're using in the old logo, that's the blue one, or any new Early Act clubs are coming up this Rotary year, next Rotary year, please contact either myself or Sean, and he will provide an appropriate logo for your Early Act club.
I see one more question in the chat. Is there a PI/branding watchdog at RI or within our zone or within our district that keeps an eye on these things?
No.
So it is up to us to
If
be
you want me to
vigilant.
be more verbose than that, I can, but no. No one's
Short and sweet.
There's no Rotary police. There's no watchdog. There's no nothing like that. We ourselves are responsible for what we put out. And that's honestly the best way to do it. Having someone responsible, even if it was at forget a global level, when you're dealing with 32,000 plus clubs, right? But even at a district level, when you're just dealing with 77 Rotary clubs and 40 something Rotaract clubs, it's a full-time job if you had to do that. And try to monitor the brand that everybody's putting out. So each of our clubs, Rotary, Rotaract, Interact, they're responsible to make sure that their brand is correct. And again, there are ways that you can get help if you're uncertain, but there's no watchdog, there's no police. While there maybe should be, but no, there's no watchdog or police that are out there at any level that is keeping track of who's putting what out.
And as I mentioned in my presentation, people do reach out to me and send me examples and say, is this correct? Why can't our club do this? So that's why we have to be careful, because we could be influencing the incorrect brand. And once people see it online, they will go and do it. So the good thing about it is we have unofficial police who will reach out, but as Sean said, there's not.
And I'll just add one more thing to that. Here's a good practice for every club, or a good philosophy to maintain. Just because it was done in a previous year does not make it right. Yeah, there a lot of clubs, that's their kind of get out of jail free card sometimes, right? Oh, this is what they did last year. Yeah, that doesn't make it right. So you want to always make sure that you are up to date and correct with your, logos and branding and whatnot. Not necessarily assume that what was done in the past was correct. And just to answer that last question I'm seeing here, with regard to Interact and Rotaract. So two things. One, Rotaract is no longer considered as a separate entity or lower entity than Rotary clubs, right? They're on par with Rotary clubs. So just like how you would have sponsored a new Rotary club, you could sponsor a new Rotaract club, but you don't have to treat them as this kind of lesser entity. They're on the same level of Rotary clubs. Interact clubs, however, are still sponsored clubs. And so to answer the question directly, you don't really need to include the sponsor club logos or branding when you refer to an Interact club, and you definitely don't need to include the sponsor brand or logos when you're referring to a Rotaract club. Every single entity can have its own logo that stands on its own. Yeah.
Thank you both for taking us through those questions that came in from all sorts of directions. And I'll hand you back over to Leighton. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya. And I just want to thank APIC Sean again for that very insightful and very important presentation that you shared with us. I would think I'll have to talk to you offline with a couple of questions I have, but I must say I couldn't help but noticing your own personal brand tonight on your cap, and that logo speaks to the man that you are.
S just stands for Sean, that's all.
Sure. All right. Well, thank you again very much for your presentations tonight. At this point, I think I will pass it back over to Governor-elect Soraya to do the wrap-up session.
Thank you. Thank you, District Incoming Secretary Leighton. That was just an absolutely outstanding presentation from our in-house or in-district experts. Thank you so much for your informative and inspiring presentations, PAG Maria and Communications Chair Sean. Thank you very much. We know that there's tremendous effort that goes into to preparing and presenting these. And so we thank you for your continued support of the district. I am very interested. I heard you speak about the change with the ILVIAC logo, and I'm very interested in receiving that logo for sure, because I wasn't aware that there was any change with the ILVIAC branding. My takeaway from this evening is that elevating a club's public image is an ongoing process. It's a journey that requires a multifaceted approach, combining many things, starting with your PI plan, strong member support with focus on branding, storytelling, community involvement, and media engagement. But by implementing some of these strategies, utilizing the many resources available, clubs can enhance their visibility and strengthen their impact on the communities that they serve. So I would like to thank our club leadership and all the members on the call for participating, and I hope that they found this presentation extremely valuable. As said before, the plan is to arm you with as much information as possible such that we can achieve our overall objectives and ensure that we can continue to have thriving and highly successful clubs and continue to be one of the best Rotary districts in the zone, if not the best. As announced before, we will have another public image session in Trinidad. So looking forward to seeing all of you there. But before then, please remember that we have 2 more virtual sessions. Our Pels Youth session on Thursday this week, and the final session, which will focus on service projects next week, Thursday, that is the 9th of April. I want to extend my sincere thanks to the PI team again for this wonderful presentation and to thank everyone participating here this evening. We sign off now and ask that you enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Governor-elect Soraya. Well, it's been a wonderful evening. I think everybody learned a lot tonight. And before we close off, I just want to remind you all to go in the chat. Well, it's on the screen now, to scan the QR code and make sure you get the evaluation form done. We'd like to get 100% participation in the evaluation, because this will help us to streamline the program going forward. Thank you very much. We're going to be back here again, I think, on Thursday night, if I'm not mistaken, on Thursday, April 3rd, for our 6th session. And on Thursday, we'll be talking about igniting the future, empowering our youth through service. And then our final session will be on Wednesday, the 9th, where we will talk about service in action, transforming communities through service projects. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tonight, and have a lovely evening. See you soon.